Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Hola, muy buenas tardes. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. My name is Leana Yang. I'm a public alliance servant with SOC. I am going to take a second to say hello to our Spanish-speaking audience. Hola, mi nombre es Leana Yang. Soy un aliado público sirviendo con SOC. Para escuchar nuestro show en español, por favor, marquen el número 646-749-3122 y usen el código de acceso 778-328-1. Les voy a dar ese número otra vez, disculpen. 779-328-221. Y este es el código de acceso. Okay, now we're going to move on. Just want to remind you that these shows are recorded and translated into Spanish and English, and they can be seen on our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Today's team is made up Maria on comments, and I'm producing. As you can see, I'm not wearing a mask because I am working from home, just like the rest of my team. But we are here for you, and you can reach us at 414-672-608. I'm sorry. 414-672-8090, and that's our number. Or you can reach us by email at SOC or SOC at socmilwaukee.org, and you can find this information in the comments there. I just want to do a brief overview of who we're going to have for the rest of the week. On Wednesday, we're going to have Pedro Hernandez. He's an attorney at Legal Aid Society, and we'll be talking about evictions and some of the other programs and services that Legal Aid Society offers. We are also going to, or rather on Thursday, we're going to have Erika Villafuente, and she's from Core El Centro, and she's going to be here doing an interview with Marlene. We still need to find a guest for Friday. We might do like a re-airing of a previous show, but you can join us here Friday and find new information as well. I am going to say hello to the folks that commented on the chat here. We got some of our youth, and first of all, we want to say hello to Trini Zapata. Thank you for being here with us. Hola, muy buenas tardes, usted. Thank you. Isaiah Smith, hello. Thanks for being here with us today. Jasmine Reese, thank you for being us today. We are happy that you guys are here. Okay, we are going to move on with our re-airing of our interview. We're going to re-air an interview by Andrea. She interviewed Leana Yang from HAWA, and that is the Hmong American Women's Association. And here we have the interview Maria is going to play. Thank you, Maria.
Hello, my name is Andrea Rodriguez. I'm the Leadership Coordinator with Southside Organizing Center. Today I'm joined from Leana Yang from HAWA. I'm so grateful to have you here. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Leana Yang. I am the Outreach and Education Director here at the Hmong American Women's Association. My pronouns are she, her, hers, queen, anything said with love. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Excellent. We're so grateful to have you back today. Why don't you go ahead and remind our viewers a little bit about what HAWA actually is? Just need to unmute.
Sorry, yes. Technology, we're learning the nuances. But yes, so first and foremost, the Hmong American Women's Association, we are proud to be the only Southeast Asian woman, queer, femme-led, grassroots social justice advocacy organization here in Milwaukee, and where our mission really lives is that HAWA really organized and dedicated to the liberation. And we really center and uplift like leadership of Southeast Asian women, girls, queer, and trans people so that they can champion gender justice and collective liberation, because at HAWA, our collective liberation is tied to the liberation of Black, Indigenous, other people of color, queer, and trans liberation.
Excellent, thank you. And Southside Organizing Center is so grateful to partner with HAWA, especially on civic engagement opportunities for our residents. And you are so right about this empowerment work. And we're, again, just so grateful to have you on the South Side near us. Why don't you go ahead and let us know, we're celebrating, this month is May, AAPI, which is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Let us know about that and what we can do to celebrate along with you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, first and foremost, I just want to give a big shout out to all of my Asian American Pacific Islander folks out there. It's an awesome time to really celebrate and embody our roots, our culture, our language, our food. And so I am, first and foremost, I just really want to give that big shout out to all of my brothers and sisters out there. First and foremost, when you really think about like the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's really important that you really understand the journey that really brought Asian folks here, the journey, the history, and really the value of family in our culture. And it's awesome because this is why our collective liberation is tied to Black, Indigenous people of color, because we all value one thing, and that's family, and that's community. And so understanding that when we say like, oh, our collective liberation is all value very similar things, right? So that's definitely one thing that I will say, and not just because it's the month to celebrate. But something I always say is that just because it's the month to celebrate, this is something you should always acknowledge and move through your life with. And also understanding that as we're celebrating this, there is so many queer and trans women and girls, folks out there that felt like they've been pushed out or detached from their community. So oftentimes out here celebrating it, right? We forget about the most impacted who felt like they've been pushed out, who felt like they've been detached, to remind them that just because you've been pushed out or felt like you don't belong or a sense of belonging, right? Especially queer and trans people, to understand that your roots is so much more stronger than what everyone else is telling you. So even if you feel this way, that deep down inside, your roots remain strong. Your roots remain in your culture, and no one can take that away from you. So even if patriarchy and all these systems try to teach you these things, just remember to unlearn, unshift, and remembering that deep down is your roots. And in that, no one can take that away from you. So as we're celebrating this, I also want to remind folks to think of the ones that has been pushed out or has been told that they're not Asian enough or that they don't belong in this community because they look, talk, and love different. And just to remind them that it's not that you portrayed your community or portrayed the Asian American Pacific Islander heritage, but is that you just portrayed all forms of patriarchy and all system that has continued to fail you. But deep down in your roots is that you're still culture, you're still you, and you're still this beautiful Asian American Pacific Islander person.
Beautifully stated. And I'm so grateful right now that, our Latinx community is definitely partnering with HAWA and the AAPI community. Also, what you stated earlier about, the Black community and also the Indigenous community, all of us coming together to really support each other and break out of this colonistic mind frame that we've all been stuck in. So I always have such powerful conversations with you, Leana. I'm so grateful for that. Why don't you go ahead and let our viewers know how the community and allies, what we can do to uplift, support, and fund and donate to HAWA?
Yes. So oftentimes folks feel like they are like, well, I'm an ally, I show up, I'm an ally, I support, I show up. But to be part of this movement and to actually create an impact, you need to find it deeper in you. So it's more than just showing up, right? Because when you show up, you're giving us this quantity of community power. But what are you doing when you're out of that space? Are you having these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleague? Are you challenging folks in your community who might not see our values in a line? Are you challenging them to really see this in a different point of view? And so that's what I mean when they're like, oh, we center, we uplift. It's like, but are you actually having these conversations outside of the movement? After you come and show up and protest about Black liberation, are you challenging your family member that might not value with you to have these healthy conversations for folks to at least start thinking, right? So it's more than just showing up in the space. It's what you actually do with that piece when you leave the space. You actually have to take that with you. And so I really want folks to really hear me when I say that. Because in the Southeast Asian community, there's really not this gray space where women, girls, queer, and trans folks can hold these kind of conversation, right? Or stories share around like sexual assault violence, domestic violence. We did not grow up in our household, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about our Black, Indigenous people of color. We didn't grow up in our household in which these kinds of conversations around the different forms of violence that show up in sexual assault was the conversation we had at our dinner table, right? We're already coming to the States constantly thinking about surviving. How do we survive? How do you go to school and survive the system, right? But one thing that folks forget to realize is that sometimes it's hard to survive if you don't have the access, the support, the love to fight through all forms of violence that oftentimes women, girls, and queer and trans folks experience, and they don't have to. So when thinking of all these things about uplifting support, when I say we are the only Southeast Asian women, girls, and queer trans focused organization here in Milwaukee, it should light up some awareness like there's only one. And yet Milwaukee holds the highest population of Southeast Asian first refugee and first generation. And yet we are the only one that's working on this social work. So how can you turn to an organization to us and say, what does it mean to support an organization like HAWA if I genuinely care about the safety of women, girls, and queer and trans folk? If you genuinely care about those safety, if you really want to see a world free from violence, then you will continue to uplift and support our work. You will continue to have this kind of conversation even outside of work. Because for a lot of us here at HAWA, this isn't just a regular 8 to 4 job. Even afterwards, we're constantly moving and living our life through our values, right, here at HAWA. So when we say, oh, these are our values, we're not just talking about our values that we uphold here at HAWA. We walk with these values even outside because this is our life. We are the most impacted. We are lived experience. Therefore, this is our value because it actually aligns with how I show up as a mother in my household, as a queer femme daughter in front of my parents. So we actually have to walk with these values. And if you genuinely believe our value in uplifting and centering, right, women, girls, queer, and trans folks, if you value the collective liberation that is tied to the liberation of Black, Indigenous people of color, queer, and trans folks liberation, if you are committed to move and organize our work in alignment with Black women and Black trans women's leadership, if you are invested in the transformative healing, right, that empowers our women, girls, queer, and trans people to thrive and be of change, because it's really our people, right, Dre, that's going to really make a change. So if you genuinely are committed to that and you hear me today, then really go back and tell yourself, am I showing up in the way that I'm supposed to, that it's really making an impact, right? So in order to do so, you constantly have to uplift our work, be invested, connect with the community that's already living and thriving, that's trying to mobilize, get to know some of your organization and your community, get to know what you value. And then find the organization that's local that you could really invest your time in, because by you showing up and they're really moving in that way, now that is how you really create a transformative healing that really empower us, you know? So really connect with communities, organization that's local to you, get to know the people around you. And we're living in this world where we're learning virtual, we're learning everything online, we're learning everything through social media. But when you take that all away, how are you really building with folks in space? How are you really building this relationship? You know, I know, Dre, you and I were always constant connecting on SOC, right? But we're friends on social media. If you got something I want to share, if I would have something you want to share, and that's even through social media, that's community building. We're living this pandemic, but how are you still pushing that work through platforms, right? How are you, when you see folks in space, how are you building that relationship? How are you getting to know their history, right? And with that together is how you really uplift this kind of work. That's really how you really do it. Okay, I want to really uplift HAWA. Okay, but do you know us? Do you know the work we do? Do you know our value? Does they align with yours? Because if it does, then you can really uplift us in a very natural and a very unapologetic way.
I love that. And I love how you're talking about being authentic about this effort and making sure that if you're going to commit, that you're getting to know. And you were very clear already, Queen Leana, that we are, HAWA has an open door policy. This is a safe place. This also reminds me that I need to have a follow-up conversation with you to get HAWA representation at our next Empower meeting, which deals with street-based sex trade. And we would love to have that voice there. We'll talk about that later. I could talk to you about a lot of things, I'm sure. So, and for viewers, if you don't know, we are going to be having HAWA and Leana coming on once a month. So we'll be doing a series. We're very excited about that partnership and with a lot of great topics to talk about to make sure that all of our viewers really understand all the amazing things that HAWA has to offer. Donations to HAWA. Why don't we talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So even though we had to really mobilize our community and work together through this pandemic last year, something that HAWA is that we're really pushing for a new building so that we can have something that belongs to us. And so, yeah, so what does it mean to give something to women, girls, queer, and trans folks that belongs to them? And with that, what can we do with it, right? Because we are the natural caretaker, the natural healer of our community. We're really looking for a space in which it's can serve a bigger capacity to really mobilize community. And so something that I just said I had unstable, but something that folks can do is you can go onto our website. We are super easy to find. It's literally HAWA, HAWAMKE, which means Milwaukee.org. That's it. And on there, you can actually find more information about HAWA, the work we do. We understand that folks are more visually appealing. So we do create a lot of video content, allowing folks to watch and view to really fully understand our work, because 100% of donation and funds that falls into HAWA's lap goes all back to the community. So we actually, every time we get donations of funds, for example, our community closet is community funded only and fundraising only. With that, we give all of that back to our community for free. And it's basic needs stuff, which really blows my mind. It's basic needs that actually helps our community get from point A to point B to survive. Can you imagine a family without toiletries, right? A family without food, without clothes, right? How do you send your children off to school if you don't even have enough clothes to hold them for that whole week? And so that's really what we're really trying to push out. So you can really go onto our website. We have donation apps on there. If you're on Facebook, follow us on Facebook. We are super active on our Facebook because a lot of our community member lives there. On there, you can also donate, uplift, and share our work. And again, all proceeds goes all back into our community.
I love that. And although this is a pre-recorded interview, we are going to be putting in links to the Facebook page and also to your website. I know we had some other contact information. Why don't you go ahead and say those to viewers, and we'll make sure that we link that as well when we air this live.
Yes. So because we provide direct service, we have a team of cultural experts that works with Southeast Asian women, girls, queer, and trans folks who are most impacted, who has experienced or still experiencing domestic violence and sexual assault. We also have a legal team to really help navigate that piece to ensure that we are keeping our clients safe. You can contact our office for any support. If you're watching this and you're like, I really want to collaborate with HAWA, then our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you or someone you know is in need of our direct service and advocacy work, we do have a 24-hour Hmong family straightening helpline. I know you all will put this on the screen, but it's 1-877-740-4292. Again, because we are moving in a trauma-informed way, if you cannot call that phone number, and the best and most safe way to do so is via text. You can also text that 24-hour helpline as well. Our phone number is also open to the community. Anyone that's watching this, you can call us again at that same hour, 8 to 4:30 at 414-930-9352. I wish it was like one of those TV things where it just like pops up as I'm talking.
We will be showing that
yeah.
live too. It'll look like that when we do air it. We have that magic with our producers.
Yes, thank you. And then obviously emails, I respond best to email. You can also email to our staff email, which is just literally staff@hawamke.org.
Beautiful. We're so excited. And I am so grateful that we get Queen Leana every month going forward. And we'll possibly have other team members coming on as well, so we can highlight their program areas, because we want to make sure all of our viewers understand what a wealth HAWA is and how grateful we are to have them as a community member and a partner. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you on soon. Gracias.
Okay, that was Leana Yang. She is the Outreach and Education Director at HAWA. That was a great interview. Thank you, Andrea, for that interview. And we're going to move on to our next segment, and that is going to be Marlene is going to come on live to do a little COVID update.
Hello, everybody. So I actually am going to share my screen. I have like a little video for you guys from 16th Street Clinic, and it's really informative. It is with a couple of doctors, and they're talking about COVID and the COVID vaccine. So, all right. Well, that's not playing, but it's okay. I can just do a live update for you guys. So I want to let everybody know that there are walk-in clinics for vaccinations right now. And where one place you can go to is the Wisconsin Center, which is at 500 West Wells Street, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And you can go Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. There's also the Northwest Health Center at 6431 North 76th Street. And then the Southside Health Center at 1639 South 23rd Street. Those two facilities, the Northwest Health Center and the Southside Health Center, are open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that is for the walk-in clinics. There are still COVID-19 rapid testing facilities you can go to get tested. And one of those areas, like the main ones, are Walgreens and CVS. And what you can do is you can go on their main website and put in your zip code, and then it'll show you any facilities that are currently open near your location that have slots open for you to schedule to go in to get a rapid COVID-19 test. If you do not want a rapid COVID-19 test, there are also other tests you can get at Hyatt Pharmacy, located on West Layton Avenue, and they are open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I believe all week except for Sundays. So you can go in there and get tested. If you are traveling, and take note, people are traveling now if you are fully vaccinated. So you need to take precaution before you're traveling. And one of the requirements for a lot of countries is to get to get COVID tested at least 3 to 4 days before your flight takes off. Some countries are different. They have different regulations, such as 24 to 72 hours before, but it is recommended that you do the PCR test, which takes a couple of days before you get your results. And a lot of flights will only consider the PCR test and not the rapid test for you to enter their country. So if you go in with the rapid test with those results, they might deny you access and entry to the location. So you don't want to be stuck in another country in the airport, or in, your flight might have to be like delayed because you don't have the proper paperwork. Yeah, so that is all. And one thing that you can do is double check and ask the facility that you go to get tested at, is this the right paperwork? Can I utilize this for flights? And they'll know exactly what document to give you and print out. But other than that, I do not have any other updates for you guys. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you, Marlene, for that update. Great stuff. Make sure that you guys get tested if you're going to travel, especially quite important since other countries are having issues with their COVID numbers and them being higher. Okay. We are going to share a community resource, and I believe Maria is going to share the screen with me. We have an event that we want to share through LIT, or that is Leaders Igniting Transformation, and that is Level Up. And Level Up is a virtual networking event. So this is particularly for the youth. This is going to be Thursday, June 24th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, networking event where there'll be a lot of different professionals from Milwaukee speaking about their experiences, speaking about how to get better resume building skills, how to get better interviewing skills when you go interview for a job, things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. That is an event through LIT. You can follow them on their Facebook page, and there'll be more information on that there. We should have the link to this Facebook post, or like their Facebook post for this event, and that will be shared in the comments. All right. So let's see. I think that is that event for now. We are going to move on and just do reminders as to who's going to be here the rest of the week. Again, tomorrow we're going to have Pedro Hernandez, and that's going to be the Spanish section. I'll be interviewing Pedro. We're going to talk about evictions, some of the other resources that Legal Aid Society provides. We're going to be talking about probably how to go about taking your parking tickets to court. For Thursday, we're going to have Erika Villafuentes with Por el Centro, and that's going to be an interview that Marlene will be doing. Then we don't have a Gas for Friday yet, but we're figuring something out for you, and hopefully folks can join us on Friday as well. I'm going to leave you guys with our survey promo. Please continue filling out the survey. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear how the show went. And, always give us a like, give us a share. And I know folks commented today, so I really appreciate that. Okay. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here. We'll do our Spanish segment. And thank you. Bye.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.